The Supreme Court has ordered release of AG Perarivalan, the convict in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, invoking its power under the Article 142 of the Constitution. So the Supreme Court ordering release of Perarivalan, the convict in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. A big story from the Supreme Court, the court ordering release of Perarivalan, convict in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. Let's go across to Meenakshi joining us live right now. Meenakshi, tell us what happened in court.
Well, this was along expected lines because this is extraordinary jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, which it has invoked under Article 142 of the Constitution. These are inherent powers of the Supreme Court, which the Constitution vests in the top court. But this is extraordinary jurisdiction, and Supreme Court bench comprising Honorable Justices Nageswara Rao, Justice B.R. Gawai have clearly observed that the Tamil Nadu State Cabinet took the decision to grant remission to Perarivalan on relevant considerations. However, the bench has added that the inordinate delay by the Tamil Nadu governor in exercising of his powers under Article 161 of the Constitution is something that can be subject to judicial review, which the Supreme Court has subjected to while arriving at this conclusion. And it is the inordinate delay and the shuttling between the governor's office and the president's office of this particular mercy plea that has brought about this intervention from the Supreme Court, and in exercise of inherent powers of jurisdiction under Article 142 of the Constitution, which is extraordinary jurisdiction that the Constitution vests with the top court of this country. The Supreme Court has gone ahead and ordered the release of Perarivalan just moments back.
Meenakshi, will this also pave way for the release of the other convicts in this case?
Well, yes, you see, that's an interesting question. And we've seen in the past how Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, several years back herself, has visited Nalini. She is said to have forgiven her. And back then we had seen, speculations and talks about a possible release for Nalini. But as far as your question is concerned, definitely this will set a precedent in motion for all likewise matters. Of course, it has to be examined on a case-to-case basis, and this is the operative part that we are getting for our viewers as we speak. We know that the extraordinary jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is not used very commonly. It is used on rare occasions in a case-to-case basis, and in this particular case of Perarivalan, now we know that the Supreme Court has frowned upon the governor's office for delaying really to arrive at a conclusion with regards to the governor's powers in 161 powers exercise that the Constitution vests with the governor. So this sets a precedent in motion for all likewise cases. Now, what are those cases and how the facts and circumstances would come within the purview of likewise? That is something we will have to wait and watch. Because remember, in Perarivalan's case, what the Supreme Court is underlining is this, that there has been inordinate delay on part of the governor and also the mercy plea shuttling between the governor's office and the president's office. So if the governor or the president in other cases were perhaps, were to act in a timely fashion, then the invoking of Supreme Court's jurisdiction, inherent powers under 142 of the Constitution would not arise. So that is the differentiating factor here, because the governor's office was not acting in a timely fashion. Therefore, the Supreme Court has used its extraordinary powers in this case.
All right, Meenakshi, thanks very much for joining us from the Supreme Court, giving us this key story that that Rajiv Gandhi assassination convict Perarivalan, his release has been ordered by the Supreme Court, invoking the court's powers under Article 142 of the Constitution. That's the extraordinary jurisdiction. Let's go across to Dhanu, who's joining us from Chennai. Dhanu, the Tamil Nadu cabinet had asked for the early release of Perarivalan. Take us through the politics behind this case.
This is a huge thing as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, because way back in 2018, the Tamil Nadu cabinet has recommended, the release of 7 convicts, who were convicted in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. But the then Governor Banwarlal Purohit, and he sat on that recommendation for so long, and in fact, the Supreme Court, it had slammed the Tamil Nadu governor for sitting on the recommendation for so long and not deciding on it. So right now, what we are seeing here is a historic verdict where the Supreme Court has pronounced that Perarivalan will be permanently released in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. So this verdict, it might likely be paving way for the release of other 6 convicts also, Nalini, Murugan, Shantan, Jaikumar, etc. Because their plea is also in the court, and in fact there's a separate plea from Nalini's side. So this particular verdict that we are seeing today, this historic verdict, this may pave way for the release of other convicts also. So as far as Tamil Nadu politics is concerned, irrespective of party lines, most of the political parties in Tamil Nadu, they have been for Perarivalan's release. In fact, that's the primary reason why in 2018 we saw the Tamil Nadu cabinet giving a recommendation to the governor that all the 7 convicts in this case should be released. So that happened in AIDMK period, and even this current DMK government, they are, when we talk to the spokespersons and even the DMK senior leaders, they are, supporting, and they supporting the release of Perarivalan and other convicts. So what we are seeing today is a historic verdict, and as I told, this may pay way for the release of other 7 convicts also. And what we have to note importantly in this verdict is that the Supreme Court has slammed the governor for sitting on the recommendation for so long, because the recommendation was given in 2018. Almost 3 years and 8 months back, and the governor, he didn't decide on the recommendation for so long, and the Supreme Court has slammed the governor for the delay. And it has even during the earlier arguments as far as this case is concerned, the Supreme Court had told that if no decision is arrived at this case, the Supreme Court it told that it will itself pronounce a verdict, and that's what we are seeing today. The Supreme Court itself has pronounced a verdict telling that Perarivalan will be permanently released in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. And the Supreme Court has also noted that Perarivalan had spent 31 years in jail. So this particular notable point by the Supreme Court is also important, because he had spent 31 years in jail, and his mother Arpudam Ammal from Tamil Nadu, she's been battling this case in court back and forth for almost 30 years now. So she was seeking the release of her son and other convicts also in this case for the past 30 years. So her legal battle is also very noteworthy, and today we are seeing a historic verdict in this case, and the Supreme Court has also told that his Perarivalan's good conduct in jail, while he was serving the sentence, that's also important to be noted.
All right, Dharani, we leave it there. Thanks very much for joining us and giving us that perspective to this breaking story that Supreme Court ordering release of Rajiv Gandhi Assassination Convict Perarivalan.